because, okay.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good, fabulous Monday evening. This is Lisa Tanya and, of course, host Robin Watson. We're here and we're excited to have you as part of today's broadcast. We were not here present last week because Robin had multiple deaths in her family. I, too, had a death and had just come back. So we did not make it last week, but to keep up, we're here this week, eager and ready. Robin's a little under the weather, so we're hoping that we can pull this hour off. If you haven't already, be sure to download the Status Network app. Go to the Be Positive page and follow us on Facebook. Our other social media platforms you can watch us at is Instagram, livetv.status, Facebook, livetv.status, Periscope, status._. We're also on Twitter, Amazon, Fire Stick, and Roku. If you want to call in and be part of the show tonight, feel free to dial 470-251-4343. And of course, you see, it's just us tonight.
It is. No guest today. So we're going to be talking about current events, topics. There are a lot of topics that are in the headline that has caught my interest. And as we all know, we're all praying for not only Kobe Bryant and his daughter, but all 9 of the people that were on the helicopter incident that happened in Calabusa. I'm really sad, and I've seen a lot of people are sending their rest in pieces to the all the people that are involved. And we, of course, you have some people that are being ignorant and silly, saying, why y'all mourning him? Y'all don't know him personally. But death is everything, you know. You don't have to personally know someone to feel their sympathy or feel what they're going through in the time of death.
Indeed.
Yeah. So I do want to say rest in peace, and I'm praying for his family and friends as well. I don't know. I got a lot that I want to talk about. So
do I. In the sense of death, though, I really wanted to talk about the psychological effects of the long term, the grief process, period, because it is that time. You've experienced, as I said earlier, that's why she wasn't here last week. That's why I wasn't here the week before that. I was out of town with death. And so... do you think it's a notion of, okay, it's death? And I'm only asking from the psychological as well as the spiritual. People talk about death from the spiritual perspective, but it's always talked of is, well, we're born into this world and we must die. Yeah. We come in this world and we know we're going to die.
Yeah, it says
but
from
what
death
about
we come,
the psychological part? Right.
Yeah.
And everyone isn't in a state of believing. So I don't think that's always appropriate to just assume that, okay, if you've been impacted by death before, each death is, it should be easier. It depends on the relationship. It depends on just the severity. Was it instant? Did you know it was going to happen? Was the person sick? Was it something, you know? So the psychological effects of death can be long term.
It can be.
Speaking of, we know you've shared with us this past week or two as well. It was Robin's daughter's, Gabby's, death anniversary, 3 years. So with that being said, as a mother, you can empathize and sympathize with Kobe's wife and some of the other people there as a mother that has lost a child.
I can sympathize with them, but I can't feel the same effect. You must think about it. Vanessa has lost a husband and a daughter.
I'm saying on the and from the parents' perspective.
From the parents' perspective, yes. I just feel that grief is what it is. It's grief. And we all deal with it differently. Some people are in a different spiritual realm. Some people are more mentally capable of accepting death. Death is just that thing, and it's all on how you choose to accept it. I was just in a past where I lost my mom. God gave me 10 years to grieve between losing her and losing my daughter. So I was pretty much in the state of mind that, okay, I can accept it, I understand it, because it gave me time enough to understand that death is death. We all must go there sometime between Sunday and Monday, we're all going to die. So we don't know the time. So it just gave me time enough to build up what I need to build up to accept the point that my daughter passed away. And everybody's not like me. And I dealt with it in my own way. And I still deal with it after 3 years. You know, people say, well, how long do you grieve? Grief does not have...
I was going to say that next.
Yeah, grief does not have a time.
Right, does not have a time limit.
Does not have a time.
So again, such a sad occasion for the NBA world, the young boys and girls that idolized Kobe. He was such an icon, a legend. And although, no, I've never seen him play, I've never met him personally, but it's almost like you could feel his presence as a cousin, brother, or someone, because everyone talks about how humble he was.
Yes, he was.
And on the way to the show tonight, I heard something that was really profound. Isaac Curry was on the Willie Moore Jr. show, and he said, Kobe's death touched me in a way where it made me feel my humanity, understand humanity. Because at any moment, like you said, it could be us.
It could be us.
It could be my husband and kid, you know, and then that part, even I had a client today call, and she was kind of antsy, and I was like, okay, what's going on with you? And she's like, you know, the husband was going to pick up the daughter. So immediately, so you know already it's having different effects on different people because she's thinking, wow. And that's the first thing she said. She thought her husband was coming back. Yeah. So it's definitely different all around with the grief and the psychological. But again, our prayers go out to Kobe, his family, the Bryants, the coach that was on there and his family. That poor kid, their poor sweet kid that is left without the parent and sibling, and the other as they come forward with the names of the other ones that did not survive. So just be mindful. Just be mindful in your walk and talk as you go about your daily life. This is a season also with death so prevalent and things happening so quickly. When they had the thing in Pensacola, our hometown, there on the base, that could have gone a whole different direction. So you just be mindful of the way you treat people, what you say to people, how you, your overall disposition, because you never know when. So we're just going to ask all who's viewing to just keep them lifted in prayer and understand their state of being at this time. So we're going to be moving on. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I also want to talk about Delonte West. Okay.
That poor child. I don't know if there anybody that's viewing us that is following his story, but I really feel sorry for this young man. This is a young man who was in the NBA who has now lost everything. He is psychologically in a space where I felt that there were red flags. People within the network, I think that the NBA should have something set up for these young players who are drafted out of high school, who are out of college, who don't know how to manage life as being a millionaire or being a superstar. Indeed. And in 2011, I went back to, just to watch some clips of where he was before he got to the point that he is now. And he did an interview, I think it was in 2011, where he spoke to a sportscaster, and he was saying that I have different personalities. At that time, I think that someone should have stepped up and say, hey, this young man needs help. He's crying out for help, and we need to do whatever it is that we need to do. The NBA is a job.
Right.
Those guys are paid to do a job, and that's whether it's playing, whether it's coaching, whatever it is that they're doing, they get paid. It's a job. So I think that they should have guidelines that are set up that you can see the warning signs. That's just like working on a postal job, and you see somebody that's talking disgruntled, and you know that they're about to go off the edge or go off. You got to set guidelines to figure out, okay, hold on. This is a red flag. We got to do something now before it gets detrimental. And right now, I just really feel sorry for him. So I'm asking everybody that's watching that knows his story. If you don't know his story, go back and watch this young man and pray for him. He is in really, really, really a bad place, as well as Orlando Brown.
Right. And so what, as you say, what does the coaches, family members, because of course family isn't trained, and when you talk about mental health, there's so many things that can be done, but who's trained? And so yes, when they go in, I watched the interview last night, did not want to watch it, but I was just flipping the TV. And so I watched the interview with the general manager, former general manager of Kobe. That started with Kobe when he was 17, as you say, young in the league, where he forfeited college and went straight to the NBA. That man was actually just enamored, in tears, but the passion and how he talked about how he embraced him, took him at 17 and walked with him through the process, and that's it. You know, you have to, when you don't know, that's like somebody with a stretch off. They have plenty of people. You're a millionaire one day and you're totally broke the next day because you don't understand the dynamics of what that kind of money is. And so with that poor child, and I'm going to say child because
he is a child.
He is a child to me. It is sad. It's sad that he's in that space where someone has not tried to actually take him. That should be some kind of mandator in the players' contracts, maybe, that monthly they're receiving counseling, psychological help because of, and not to make them, again, not to make them feel less than, unimportant. We're going to suspend you and put you because something is going on. Mental health is real. You know, I'm passionate about mental health, and so there takes a time. Maybe they can put something where they give them a timeout. You know, you have a half season off. You're not reprimanded for it, but you need. We see that you have some things going on.
Got some issues that need to be addressed. Yes, and that goes back to say for Orlando Brown. I'm really not believing the hype. I'm not believing what he says. I think that's another cry for help. If you don't know who Orlando Brown is he was a kid then that played in Major Pain. He also played in That's So Raven. And they have something that's going on the internet, and the internet's a beast. I mean, it is cruel. So they have this little thing going around with him, an incident with him and Nick Cannon. I'm not going to say the details because it's graphic. Actually, I really don't believe it. I'm on the outside looking in, but I just think that it's a cry for help. I think he actually needs help. And where are the people that are going to help these guys? And it's so sad that when our people are forced into these arenas or these things, it's put on the forefront more than it is for others. Some of them are pushed under the rug. You don't hear about it. You don't know about it. But the minute it's one of us, you know, you want to throw us under the bus. Well, just like Kobe. They want to bring up about him and the allegations that he had in Colorado with the young girl and the man's dead now. Why would you even want to bring up that?
Because as you say, social media is a beast. And even when it comes to us, you know, us, when it comes to mental health, you're saying, and you can look from the outside looking in, that even it could be a cry for help, that the young man is needing help. But when it comes to us, girl, you know how I feel about that. We go out to buy a pocketbook. We've talked about that too many times on the mental health. So do we blame them, society, or do we just really take a look in the mirror and say, listen, you know, there are some things. That's called self-assessment, and that's a grown person's move when you really can say, you know what, I'm really having a bad day today. Or, you know, I keep getting that a lot from people. I need to check myself. But who does that? People don't do that because
we're so proud for that we realize that we need help, but we don't want to go seek help. Why?
The shame of it all. And then culturally, just depend on culturally. Some cultures, that's just not the norm. It's not that they don't want to, it's not the norm for them to go seek help. For us, I think a lot of African Americans, most African Americans I talk to, black people, we grew up the same way. Don't be telling my damn business. We grew up in households that's just kind of what it was. So as we grew and we told our kids the same exact thing. Don't tell the family's business. So we stay in this box. Things happen. We don't feel well. People do stuff to us, and we just pack it. It's like a Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. And you know, in all of my presentations, what I tell them, girls, ain't the Band-Aid. I'm going to give you what you want. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear because, yes, you may need to just have a wake up and say, listen, let me pull your coattail and say, listen, honey, I think, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that's all people need.
Yeah, yeah. But are they gonna get
not
help
always,
for being okay?
not always, but it's just sometimes people just need to vent.
Yeah,
they need to vent, and then once they vent, me personally, I'm the therapist. Mm-hmm. But this last week and week before, I was feeling some kind of way in my spirit. Jazz knew I had some hard decisions to make about a lot of things, business deal, people in my lives. I was just in a place, and the place had become not so much dark, but it was weepy, where I can feel the pain of the people that I was dealing with. And so it was almost overwhelming on top of those hard decisions. But I thought about it. But by Friday and Thursday, I had a whole out crying fit.
Yeah.
I mean, I cried for hours.
Yeah. Well,
cried for hours, and then, hey, by Saturday, I was
back at it.
But I had people to call in between that because sometimes people don't have that.
Yeah.
And I was grateful this particular time that people are starting to notice that, listen, let me check up on her. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I know this yesterday I talked to her, she didn't sound right. But people have to be more engaged. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to that wanting help, a lot of things are a cry for help. But how do you know how to help them?
I don't know. That's a whole nother subject. Maybe that's a show that we need to just dedicate to just talking about that. We have had shows where we have talked about mental health as a whole, but I think that we need to narrow it down and figure out a subject topic to talk about so that we're not all over the place, so that someone can get something out of it that would make them think that they know, or they know for sure that they need help, and they will seek help, in the long run.
Girl, you know when you know.
Yeah, you know when you know.
You know what you know.
Yeah.
You know when you need some help. That's almost like the kids, we listen. Adults have exchange with children, and when kids start saying, you mean, all you do is fuss. We have to take heed to that kind of stuff, because a lot of times we're not knowing, do you know how to communicate effectively?
Yes.
So to the kid, she don't do nothing but fuss all the time. And those may not even be your intention. Mm-hmm. Communication is key to all relationships.
It is.
So it's about what your needs are.
It is.
And it is a shame that so many people can't come forward to talk about, what's going on with them psychologically.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move on from that, because we can talk about that for the entirety of the show.
Entire show.
So we're going to move on from that. And I want to say some congratulations. Our very first guest was Teddy Austin.
Yes.
Teddy wrote the theme song for the Be Positive show, and I want to shout out him and Timothy Jackson. Those guys were in Just Mercy. And they were phenomenal, and I want to say thank you for being on our show, and you guys did an awesome job. And also we want to say to another one of our guests, Shell Purcell. Yeah, she helped with the
Fall from Grace.
The Fall from Grace. And so we want to say congratulations to our past guests. We love you. We would love for you guys to come back to talk about it, but I know you guys are big time now. But we do, from the Be Positive show, want to tell you guys we appreciate you and congratulations. So I guess I'm excited. Yeah, when I was looking at it and I saw that, I was like, that looks like Shell's name.
Yeah, I saw her name in the credits as well.
Yeah.
So that is really great. So it seems like we may be having some technical difficulties on some issue, but at the same time we're here. And it almost appears that in a minute we will be taking a short break for the guests to set up. And we'll have a little special vegan treat, I think.
So who we have?
The last half of the show, we're going to have a former guest as well, Ariana Reeves, and she'll be talking about basically cooking better and eating better. So she's going to create us a little vegan treat.
And I got a lot of questions
yes.
that I didn't get to ask the last time. I think she was joined with another guest as well. So this show is going to be dedicated to her, the vegan lifestyles. We're going to be asking some basic Q&A questions of her. And we're going to take a quick break, let her come in and set up. And I guess we'll be back.
Well,
And
before that break, let's do this. We're going to give us a few shout-outs because we have some people and they're commenting.
Yeah.
We would like to say shout-out to two of my sisters. Hi, sissies, Lakeisha Williams and Shanta Fountain. Lakeisha's in Jacksonville, and Shanta, of course, you know Sister Shanta is there in Pensacola.
I see some of my church
Lacey
members.
Jones, thank you for tuning in. LaTracy Droops, she's great. Owner of Black Arthur's Rock. She's a phenomenal sister out of Mississippi. Lacey Jones, shout out to you. She is our little, one of my third daughters. I am mommy to her, and she has a tax company as well as she does mortgages. She's a loan officer. Timothy Jackson is watching. Picola Jennings.
Pam
And Lakeisha
Hill.
says that next time, let's talk about running to the church and need to be running to the MD because you could possibly need some pharmaceutical help. Thoughts?
Okay.
Okay, that's a great topic.
Yeah,
We're going to look into doing that.
So I got some shout outs too. I see Overseer Cindy Prahill. Thank you for watching, Cindy. My other friend Pam Hill, which is my church member. Well, she was our church member. She left us, but Pam Hill. So I like to say hello to you as well. Davine Brown. Davine's an ex-co-worker. Hi, ladies, all women of God that are watching, and thank you guys for joining us today. So we're gonna take a quick break. Have our guests come on. We're going to talk about some vegan stuff. It is the first of the year. For those of you that are strong enough to go vegan, I love my meat, but we're going to see what she's talking about. So we're going to take a quick break, and the Be Positive Show will be right back with you. Hello, welcome back. We are back and we're joined with our guest. That's a previous guest. And we're going to be talking vegan food. I'm going to assume that is chicken salad. It looks.
We can assume that, yes.
That's what it looks like. It looks like some kind of salad.
Tuna salad.
Tuna salad. How close? Which one of us is closest?
Okay,
she say
so-
tuna and I say chicken.
So I call it a chickpea salad, but those who like to veganize it call it a chicken salad, and they call it a tuna salad. So you guys are both.
Okay. So Lisa's going to
Use this all together.
Yes, all right. And she's going to tell us all things are new. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yay. My memory's not as bad at 55 as I thought it was. So Lisa's going to introduce...
Ariana Shreves has been here with us before. She is a plant-based chef for aspiring vegans. Tonight she's here to aid us in the transition of plant-based eating, using food techniques that will help reintroduce foods people generally don't eat. So this is quite interesting. It does look like tuna, and it smells like tuna fish.
I can't smell it because, I got some issues going on. I'm saying I have a cold, but it may be my sinuses. I'm not exactly sure, but I can smell the celery definitely. So I have some questions. I want to know, for the viewers that are watching, we're in 2020 and 2018, 19, the vegan scene just took over. It was like a bomb rush. Can you explain to me, as well as the viewers, what is a vegan? What is a vegan?
Okay, so vegan simply to me is someone who does not want to partake in eating any animal products at all. So that includes eggs, that includes milk because it comes from a cow, that includes like cheese.
That don't make sense to me. Somebody said that we're fasting at church, and I laughed at them, and they said, well, I wanted to eat an egg, but I didn't want to eat an egg. And I said, why you didn't want to eat an egg? And they said, because that's considered meat. And I said, no, it's not. It's an egg. He said,
well, it's not necessarily considered meat. It's still considered a chicken.
Because it comes from a chicken?
It's still an animal before it's considered meat.
Oh, that's no fun.
So, right, so
I love
with it being
eggs.
such a crave, some folks are, either doing it for the animals' reasons or doing it for their health reasons. So I'm happy some people are taking the steps of listening to their body, whether it's this, they notice when they're eating certain things that their body isn't feeling too well, or even when they notice when they eat fruits and vegetables more that they feel better. So it doesn't have to be, I cut all the meat out and then I feel better, or it doesn't have to be, I'm eating only vegetables. As long as you're being able to add different fresh foods in your life that helps you feel good and eat.
So your opinion, why do you think people become vegan? You kind of like answered that question just then, because they don't want to partake in anything that is from an animal, or for health reasons, or for better eating lifestyles. But what is your opinion on why people become vegan?
Okay, so one, they may come vegan just to see, one, what the hype is about, or two, just to see if, these folks who have been introduced into plant-based lifestyle, why do they get all this energy? Why do they sometimes look younger? Or why are they actually sticking to plants? Because a lot of the plant-based folks that I meet now haven't always been plant-based their whole life. So they, of course, notice the difference in their own lives. So and just as well as I did as well.
Okay.
And one of our viewers on here, her son, my sister's son is actually vegan, Shanta Fountain's son. And so when I was home, he was sharing with me, the food really looks delicious. If you didn't know, if you hadn't told me it was vegan food, I wouldn't have known. But that's, I think, that's something we have to always remember to do, because we had food, plenty of food was there, and unfortunately he couldn't eat any of it. So I think nobody remembered that, oh wow, there's a vegan here, too, and they can't eat the food. So
I think my son's sort of vegan because he's just weird. Meat is not one of his favorite things. He will go up in there and fix something up and it'll be smelling so good, but then when I go in and talk to him, he say ain't got no meat in it. I don't want that. I'll fix me something else to eat. So how do one become vegan? How do you transition into a vegan lifestyle? Is that something that's easy to do, or does it take work? Is it a big step into becoming a vegan?
So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a big step. Sometimes the word vegan may sound scary and it makes folks think of a super lifestyle change. But the main part of being vegan to me is the plants. We want to eat the plants. Sometimes when we go in the grocery store, the produce section is right in the front. How will we bypass that to just go see things are in a box or in a container?
I guess that's a reason for that, huh?
Maybe a reason for that.
That is.
So just finding ways to eat the plants. A lot of times we go in the grocery store, we may buy a bag salad, but there's all of the ingredients to make your own salad. And then that way you can have control over what you're eating. You have control over if you don't want carrots in your pre-packed salad or not, and things of that nature.
Okay.
I wanted to ask this question. As I was doing my research on you, I noticed it said in terms of vegan food, you use something called traditional vegan food. What is that traditional vegan food alchemy? What does that actually mean?
Okay, so I call it transitional food alchemy. To me, I like to think of things to do with actual plants. So some people will go and make like a mock chicken salad and things like nature, and then they will use different alternatives. Like when you go vegan, you want to do more of eating the actual plants opposed to just finding all the alternatives. So to me, I have here a chickpea dish. You know, some people would go in this section and then find like a vegan chicken in there and then use that, where you won't find a vegan chicken on the farm or something like that, because it's like, what is that? You know, that confuses people even more. It's like, if it's not meat, then what is it? So here I just have actual chickpeas. I have some bell peppers in there. There's onions. There's some carrots that I added for color, and I even grown those carrots myself. So those came from my own garden. As well as some other alternatives like a vegan mayonnaise. You find those in the grocery stores as well.
I have one of our viewers is asking about vegan snacks that are available.
Vegan snacks. This is also a vegan snack as well. Like, this is something you can eat with crackers. Chickpeas is a good thing to have on hand. And it's many different things you could do. If you haven't heard of falafels, you could do falafels. You can make your own chickpea burgers and things like that.
But I thought chickpeas were a different color than that.
So they're actually brown. I mashed them up and then I mixed them into everything. So just like you would do like a potato salad or something like at a cookout, you pretty much use the same ingredients, but use chickpeas and mash them up just a bit.
Oh, wow. It looks amazing. Chickpeas, I don't know, though.
Come on.
So, is it better to gradually transition into being a vegan than opposed to just forcing yourself to go vegan just like that?
Yes, I always say it's best to transition, because just I forget what year it was, maybe 2013 when I started going. I was one of those people who were saying that, okay, in January I'm going to go vegan. It didn't happen to May of that year, but I also was listening to my body in the meantime and letting my body tell me what I did and don't need. You know, I super encourage people not to just wake up. If you can and you can stick to that, do it yourself. There's some people who actually can. However, just like going vegan or trying to go on a diet for a few days, you have to be able to have that balance of something that you enjoy. That way, if you have a relapse time, it's not so super bad. You know, some people will say, oh, I'm not going to do sweets this week, and then they won't have anything sweet, even if it's a healthy sweet or just a small, not so healthy sweet. That way, when you feel like I'm going crazy, then you're going to go buy a whole cake and want to eat the whole cake.
Yeah. So what about people who have food allergies?
People who have food allergies.
Yeah, becoming vegan. You know, there are a lot of things that you can't eat because of allergies that you have. And vegan seem to carry a lot of things that may react to food allergies. So what do you say for people that may have food allergies when it comes to being a vegan lifestyle?
Having a vegan lifestyle, just support your local herbalists and your local medicine people. There are people who specialize in specific plant medicines as well. So it's good to know farmers, local farmers. There's a great to know such an abundance of local farmers in the West End and Atlanta area in general. So I would say, one, support your local farmers, and just listen to your body. If you notice that pineapple makes your throat itch, maybe you shouldn't be eating pineapple. eat at all, or maybe in the way it's prepared.
Okay.
You know?
Sometimes you have to break down fruits as well, because sometimes there are things that are in fruits that have to be broke down in order for the body to digest them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, like
Also detoxing our body. 'Cause,
yes.
You know, we can't put healthy food on top of an unhealthy gut. We have to do things to help cleanse our gut and cleanse our body for our bodies to be able to properly receive the nutritions that these plants are trying to give us.
Excuse me, would that be one of the things you would suggest as well then? Say someone sets a goal that by March 1st I'm going to start vegan. So would you suggest like sometime in February they start detoxing or something before they...
Start detoxing, start introducing like slow days, whether if it's like, okay, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, these are vegetable days, you know, or these are my no meat days. Start like that. That way when you go to March, or some people like to, you know, eat all their meat meals the day before. And it's like, that's not how you do it. You got to ease your way.
Right? That's like cheating, right?
Into it. Or not even necessarily cheating. You're going to have that and on the day before day one, and then maybe day 3 you're going crazy because now you having a withdrawal because now you want whatever type of meat craving to satisfy you.
So Timothy Jackson has a question. He says, is it more beneficial to eat vegan or pescatarian?
It's up to your diet. So I was pescatarian before I turned vegan myself.
That would help, right?
Yeah, that definitely can help. Like just being able to intentionally cut down, still make sure you're eating vegan meals in between that, and just still listen to your body. Not vegan may not be meant for everybody's diet, but just watching that and at least practicing that doesn't make you not be able to and still consume vegetables. You can be plant-based without being vegan, and you can be plant-based without being vegan. So.
And so what is pescatarian?
Pescatarian is a vegetarian who eats seafood.
Okay.
So
Only seafood, but they eat they don't eat no meats, none whatsoever. Anything that's on a farm that is farmed, raised, or anything, they don't eat it. They only eat fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, we have now vegan restaurants are popping up everywhere. So my favorite restaurant, everybody knows, is Longhorn. How do you choose if you decide that you're going to go out, say we decide that we're going to go out to brunch or we're going to go out to lunch or dinner at Longhorn's? How do you adjust to eat vegan at a restaurant that does not specialize in serving vegan food? How do you do that?
So one, if there's an occasion where you have to try to eat that menu, just try to see the type of things they may have on the menu. Sometimes you can make something with the sides you have. So say you may see that they have a dish with rice. You may see they have a nice dish with peppers, and you may see they have another dish with mushrooms. I know I like mushrooms, rice, and peppers, and I can get that all together and just have
your meal.
A nice quick veggie dish.
Okay.
A veggie dish. Or I would try to eat before I go, or find somewhere else to go, you know?
Wow. So what do vegan people need to know about nutrition when it goes to a vegan lifestyle?
Vegan lifestyle, continuing to nourish yourself. We can be vegan, and just because we're a vegan doesn't mean you can't get sick. If you're not eating as much as you should or as healthy as you should, that makes your immune system very weak. So that means you may not catch your own colds, but it makes you easier to catch someone else's cold.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes I have my green juices every now and then. I may not drink a green juice every now and then. However, I listen to my body, and if I know that, okay, maybe I'm feeling a little sluggish this week, I'll take a green juice, go to a local juice bar, get some nice juice inside of me, and get some nice energy. So those are things I like to do to get my energy up and just to stay healthy.
Well, I kind of like studied this vegan lifestyle because it was something that I thought about. But when you have different health issues, there are some things like, if you choose to do a vegan lifestyle, we all know that a lot of proteins are in things that we eat as vegans. I mean, you may not know, but it's a lot of protein there. I only have one kidney, so protein to me is a danger. So eating a lot of protein would not be good for me. So that was kind of one of the options that helped me make the decision whether the vegan lifestyle would be for me, because it would be really hard to try to take out the protein in plant-based products So what do you suggest that people that have to watch the amount of protein that they intake in their body if they choose to do a vegan lifestyle? Sorry about my questions, but I thought about this time.
Great question. So to me, the plants, things that grow from the earth, they know what they need for themselves, and they, in a sense, know what we need for us. A lot of times, the animals, some people don't like to hear it, but are fed a lot of the proteins that they need to be strong for themselves.
Okay.
However, those strong beings eat grass, eat plants themselves. So we have to be able to know that a lot of our vegetables have these necessary proteins and nutrients inside them already. So to me, there's different things where I know, like, I'm eating too much beans this week, and I will naturally decline. My body will naturally want either soups, or my body will naturally want salads. However, there's simple things like chickpeas. They have a lot of proteins, and to me, protein is something that keeps you full. Like eating something that keeps you full without having to continuously snack. A lot of the youth nowadays, they're staying full off of snacks because it's like constant small doses of energy. So they never want a full meal because there's small amounts of snacks keep giving them the energy.
Okay, so you operate as All Things Are New. Did I say it right?
Old
things are new. So what is Old Things Are New? Let the viewers know that if for some reason that they're interested in becoming vegan, or if they have some vegan questions that they want to ask you, or maybe just some vegan recipes that you might want. Do you have a website?
I don't have a website just yet. However, if you have Instagram or Facebook, you can find me at Otan Food, OTAN Food, standing for Old Things Are New. I post a lot of things, vegan recipes. I'll have some new things on the works and on the way. And just, I'm always here for a question, because I love when people are eating plants and growing plants. Like, this is something that I wasn't taught, but I naturally got into, and once I realized how easy, and I want to be able to share this love and this life with as many folks as possible. You know, if I learned this as young as possible, then I probably wouldn't have to reverse some of the problems I had growing up. So that's, to me.
So what if a community or something was interested in multiple people, the vegan lifestyle, or even a community garden or something? Is that something that you do?
Yes, that is also things I do. Also, following my social networks, I'm connected to so many local growers, so many local growing teams. There's a company called Soul Spirit Farmers where they help build community gardens. They show many people how to how to grow small and big. You can grow things from the grocery store, even something as simple as buying a celery stalk at the grocery store, cutting the bottom and putting it in a jar can help start to grow more celery.
Really?
Yes. This past season I had it's called propagation. I propagated some celery. It grew tall enough, and I put it in my garden. So I'm waiting for it to sprout up.
See, because I always thought that everything grew by seeds.
Well, there's seeds, and then they grow through themselves. You ever have a sweet potato or a potato and it grows all its buds?
Before we go, we're going to do two things. Timothy has another question. He said he's heard that there are sexual benefits to being on a vegan diet.
My God,
are you aware of any specifics?
Sexual benefits?
Sexual benefits.
Okay. Well, it's just you get a lot of energy. Like if you're eating plants that are alive, you naturally want to feel that energy. You have more energy to run around, and you have more energy to have fun, Timothy.
Tim, I'm going to give you a call after this show.
Exactly.
See what you thinking about. Think about just mercy, okay? So we have about 5 more minutes. I'm going to let you go ahead and tell them what is it that you do with what you have created. What is it that you do besides cook vegan restaurants? Do you go out and teach people quick self tips on vegan? Do you do shows? What is it that you do besides just the vegan lifestyle of cooking?
So Old Things Are New is a lifestyle I've lived for by finding the passion in everything. So to me, I look at different things, whether it be jewelry, whether it be children, and just try to find ways to stay inspired by things we can't change. There's a lot of things we deal with what we can't change, but one thing we can change is our mindset. So
that makes sense. All things are
yes.
That makes
when it
sense.
comes to like something like chickpeas, I can make chickpeas that they don't cost too much at the grocery store when you get them when you get them dry. You can have them in your fridge soaking for how long, and you can take some out and you can do different things with it. This whole meal costs less than $5. Like a stalk of celery was $1.69. One bell pepper was 99 cents. A pack of chickpeas were like $2 or sometimes less. And then just having that time to just prepare it. This is a nice, easy meal, and you can just take to a party and just have as a snack.
Yeah, because I always thought eating vegan is expensive because you got to get organic stuff. You got to do stuff that's, but if you think about it, if you grow your own stuff, you can really cook for nothing, right? Just for what you did and grew in your own garden, right?
That, and then you can, or when you grow in the grocery store, you can say that, hey, this doesn't look like something that's natural. I stand by like buying organic ingredients. However, there are ingredients that have great benefits without it being organic. Of course, buy organic whenever you can. However, there's some vegetables, if you look at Google, that don't get too much pesticides as some may think. So those are a lot of things. So I love to let people know about the easier ways to grocery shop and to prepare foods for themselves. That way so they can stay motivated to be plant-based, whether if it's plant-based vegan or plant-based meat eater, a pescatarian, whatever lifestyle. So with me being the alchemist of the kitchen and food, I just want us to be able to create our own magic and let us know that this is possible,
Okay. Well, I guess our producer is letting us know it's almost time to go. So I want you to go ahead and share with them how they can get in touch with you before we end up closing out in these last 2 minutes.
All right. So peace and much love again. You can find me at Old Things Are New. That's Old Things Are New. Or you can find me at Otan Food, OTANFOOD. And yes, stay tuned for all the workshops, all the garden workshops that we'll be having going on. The summertime, the growing season that I'm so excited for, and I will definitely be bringing you all some nice produce and giving you all some tips on how to grow your own food, your own herbs, just to start as small or big as if you ever may want. So
Lisa, how is it?
That is delicious, and I do not like bell peppers. I don't like onions, but that is really mixed really well together.
Okay, I see you put a little dent in there,
yes,
so so apparently you must enjoy it. So, but when
that's all it starts, just being open to just trying. This doesn't mean you're signing your life over to the vegan life. It just means you sampling it. That way you know either Ariana knows how to cook some great things, or either maybe she can inspire me to want to cook things for myself. Some things you have already in the fridge and you can whip up and make vegan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost like old Timothy here. I may need to get on this vegan kick, Hunter. At 53, get a little bit more sexual energy, Hunter, and let's get ready to run.
Looking beautiful.
I know, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, and I want to apologize to you for last week's show. I had 2 deaths in my family, so that's something that we can't control, and I just really wasn't feeling the show. I'm not feeling well today, but I pressed through, and I think I did pretty good. I got an itchy throat. I just want to go home and get back in my bed right now. So I do want to thank you for accepting our invitation and coming back on this week. And we actually started our show thinking that you were not going to come because you were so prompt the last time. It was like, okay, is she not coming? So we started the show off thinking that you were not going to be here, but surprise, surprise, you end up showing up anyway.
Yes,
so thank you.
Like, which time is it? I didn't know if it was 5:30 or.
No, we changed this to 6 because we're out of our schedule. This is not our actual scheduled date. So the station accommodated us and gave us today, but we had to come on at 5 instead of 6 for them to. Yeah. So they're pretty awesome, and I thank our production team here and the Status Network as well as Live TV. They're pretty amazing around here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So Lisa, you want to close us out?
I do. We will be back on February 3rd for an amazing month of love. On the 3rd, join us and about 3-4 other guests, and they'll be talking about single and dating during the love month. So until February 3rd,
be positive.
and have a fabulous week on purpose with purpose.
Good night.
Peace.